Have I ever told you some of the techniques used to motivate recruits? Let's talk about it. As you can imagine, recruits or trainees, when they join, they have this burning desire to become that Marine, that soldier, that seaman, or that secretary. That airman. But at some point of training, they lose all desire to continue pushing forward on training. For Marines, it's usually when they step on the yellow footprints. For trainees, usually when their drill sergeants yell at them. And the list goes on and on and on. And well, the drill instructor, drill sergeant, or whoever's in charge of the recruits or the trainee, they have to find different ways and different methods to keep them motivated. Just keeping them in the fight and avoiding them from quitting. Because at the end of the day, our mission is to train them, not make them quit. Anyhow, on to the story. This story comes from Fort Benning. Yes, really rare occasion that I covered the Army, but here it is. Now, this team of drill sergeants, they had a very unorthodox way to motivate their trainees. And pretty much they would set the tone for the whole entire cycle. So what they would do is that they would pick one of the drill sergeants from their team and they would actually act as trainees within their platoon. So as soon as that platoon of trainees would come out of the bus, that drill sergeant would infiltrate and would spend the next couple days with the platoon acting as a trainee. He'd eat like a trainee, sleep like a trainee, he'd be blasted like a trainee. But roughly around day number 4 or number 5, things would get a little bit spicy. The drill sergeants would have them all online, holding out their gear. The trainees are retiring and wary, they're not responding how the drill sergeants want them to respond. And now was the moment of truth. It's the time that the motivator comes out. The drill sergeant that's acting as a trainee, he just gets fed up and throws his gear down and starts blasting the drill sergeant's back. And this interaction goes for a couple minutes, and then that trainee drill sergeant decides to go and takes a run for it. Then one of the drill sergeants tells the other drill sergeant, bring the motivator in. He goes inside the office and pulls out what's called the motivator, which is a magazine full of blank rounds. Goes and grabs one of the trainee's rifles, locks and loads that magazine full of blank rounds, aims it to the trainee drill sergeant, and starts popping rounds to him. And roughly around 300 meters, goes down the freaking drill sergeant trainee. Now, the rest of the platoon is watching all this shit go down, and they don't know any better because they just don't know. The drill sergeant looks at the platoon and tells them, anyone else wants to fuck around and find out? Oh, and those boys are screaming for their lives. From that platoon, there wasn't a single one that wanted to quit. There were 0 discipline issues. And as far as for the drill sergeant training, he just took a couple days off, waited for his hair to grow out, and then came back as normal. The privates had 0 idea that it's the same dude. Anyhow, if you have a story like this and you would love to share it, just shoot me a DM.